How is this driver going for £100 or less, and why I think a lot of you should well be buying it.
I'm sticking my neck out for this video today, saying this is the best driver in 2022 that you can get for around £100. Love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear if you disagree. And I'm not gonna lie, I might be potentially biased as I've absolutely ripped this thing over the last 5 days. I've lost my PXG driver, wherever that is, and I've been putting this in the bag and it does everything I want it to do. However, when it came out, it wasn't known for anything spectacular. There were other drivers in the market. For example, Ping G Series, known for forgiveness, great for beginners, mid-handicappers, get the ball up in the air, does what it says on the tin. It was battling the Callaway Great Big Bertha, absolute animal, monster, high launch, low spin. If you hit it a long way, this was going in the bag. And in the wayside, this thing was sitting there at the same price, if not more expensive, not really grabbing that much market share. I am crushing this thing. Don't get me wrong, it's technical changes. I've changed to a few things this swing, but it just so happened to be with this driver and I am crushing it. It doesn't matter how fast the ball is off a face if you're snap hooking it all the time. This driver suffered an identity crisis, meaning the brand itself changed it altogether, and to be honest, now it's very much up the top there. It could be down to technology, could be down to the fittings, could be down to what they're doing, but I think the marketing behind the club itself has transformed their sales, just as we've seen with TaylorMade, Callaway. Whoever is winning the beauty contest will be selling the most drivers. However, if you're watching this channel, you don't care about the marketing, you just want good quality product for good value, and pound for pound, I would say, I'm gonna stick my neck out in saying this driver, the version that I've got today, is all-round best driver for the money. Yes, some are going to go more expensive depending on the shaft and condition, but comfortably there's a good few that end at auctions late at nights, poor quality photos on eBay, Facebook, you name it, for under £100. I mean, just look at the shaft this thing has come in. Arguably, I would say the best looking even flow shaft to ever come out. It was so out there, electric blue, that it would go with any head. You see them in like green and red to match obviously the type of driver that they're going in, but this electric blue goes pretty much would match any driver out there, and I would say the best looking one as well. 60 to 70 pounds alone just for this shaft. So if you pick this driver up for, I don't know, 100, 110 pounds, I mean, 3/4 of the value is just in the shaft itself. Oh no, the first bad shot that I've actually hit with this driver. Here it is, Titleist 917 D2, not the D3. This thing, for me, ticks all the boxes for you guys watching this video. You're just starting the game. You want something a bit more current. Last 5 years, it came out, as I said, late 2016, early 2017. Let's be honest, there's a lot of professional sellers just selling it for 120, 130 regardless anyway. Not to mention off Facebook, Gumtree, eBay auctions, those places are going to be struggling if professionals are trying to sell it for that kind of price. And it's so much cheaper than all the others like Ping G Series, averaging 140 to 160. Callaway Great Big Bertha, again 140 to 160. But again, this has been very middle down the road. £450 this driver was when it was first released, all the way now down to 100. So even though Titleist was the most expensive driver to come out that year, pretty much, and even the recommended retail was 450, I think it was about £400, maybe just over. Everything else was cheaper, including the Ping G Series driver. And I just want to have a quick look through. For example, 9.5, 917 driver. Is there anything wrong with this? Few scratches, few marks. I mean, this is going to fit someone that's just started the game and has a relatively high club head speed. And the bit I love about this is that you will be able to then sell it again for 70, 80 pounds, 65 pounds at a push if you really want to get your money back in a couple of years, just like the 915s, just like the 913s. But it's a beautiful combination of good value but not necessarily an ancient driver. Of course, we need to look at some sold listings just to confirm that. This is a slightly smaller head, the D3, so if you want something similar to the Great Big Bertha Epic, I mean, nothing really ever replaced that, to be honest. The D3 is definitely a head type that you want, but again, if you're that kind of player, you're probably not spending £100 on a driver, you're probably spending 300, 400 and getting fitted. But you can comfortably see here £100, £108, £195 including the 3-wood. And this is why it's also quite important for me. If I said Ping G Series, go for it, and it's a great driver, as good as the G400, arguably all the others, but that being said, you then have to buy the fairway wood and you have to buy the hybrid, and you don't have to, but you know what I mean. And that adds up the fairway wood's going to be 120, 130. The hybrid's going to be 100. Whereas the Titleist 917 fairway, 80 to 70. The hybrid, 60 to 50. Therefore, just for the sake of getting one driver, potentially for another £80, you're getting a full wood set. And again, the list goes on. £97, £110, £109 just for the head, £80, £99. You see where I'm going with this. Whereas if we do a similar comparison, let's say with the Great Big Bertha, 132, 119 for the head, 170, 135, 159, 145, 160, 250. Let's see it sold listings. Let's see if we can get one close to £100. £110, 150, 149, 129, 170, 136. And again, it's going to be quite similar. I'm not saying you wouldn't be able to find a Great Big Bertha for £100. And if you do and you hit it a long way and you want to gain more distance, please go and find that for £100. I want to recommend a driver that's easily accessible for £100, that ticks a lot of boxes that a lot of you beginners or intermediate players are looking for. And that's why I can't look past the 917. Now, one quick tip with this driver is not to forget about this thing at the back here. And if you can buy it with the SureFit system, now they're fiddly, they come in a pouch, and let's be honest, a lot of people forget about them, lose them, X, Y, and Z. But at the very least, if you can't get the full pouch that comes with this driver, again, at least just ask the seller, if they haven't already listed, what weight is in the back. Because if you're struggling with the fade, and it's got the fade one in there, or if you're struggling with the draw, or the hook I should say, and it's got the draw one in there, then obviously that's not necessarily going to help you out. So as you can see there, I've got the neutral one in the back there, but if you can get the whole kit, it's definitely worth it. And I know that you can obviously buy these individually as well, but don't neglect that. If you find one for 90, 100 pounds, at least ask, or at least try and get the information of the one that's already in the bottom there. Now, when I was doing my research, I came across this article from Golf WRX, and it sums up us as golfers, I have to say. Now, through that whole lineup, as you can see there was a lot of good drivers that came out that year. To be honest, I prefer the old TaylorMade to the new one, but Ping G Series, Cobra King F7, the LTD, you name it. At the bottom of the list we have the Cobra LTD Black, even though that's probably going for a fortune at the moment as there's no supply, and obviously with Bryson's win earlier last year, or later last year I should say. Mizuno at the bottom. Ping, surprisingly, 3.8%, so almost a third at the bottom. But this is why I love the second-hand market, is because people will decide. You go out, you try it, you hit it, someone hits that and goes, that is never coming out of the bag, whereas some of these probably come in the bag and then go straight out the bag. Interestingly, Ping G Series LS Tech, the lower spin version, more of the vote, and I can tell you why that is, because they hit one further out of 20. Do you know what I mean? D3, 5.3%, M1 didn't necessarily get the best results, D2, 6.65%, so this thing is up the top, yet is cheaper than all of these others in the second-hand market at the moment. Again, fascinating results. Look, lo and behold, at the top, 14.91%. 16% the sub-zero version, and I'm looking at the members using this. It doesn't give me the handicaps, which is slightly depressing, but of course they're going to hit one of these and it goes an absolute mile, because they've got the great shaft and they've got a great head, and they've gained 30 yards. I gained 30 yards with this driver, but I can tell you I also gained 40 yards on my bad shots as well, meaning that if I want to score well, it probably isn't that. If I want to enter long drive, yes, sub-zero. If I actually want to shoot a half decent score, we're probably using this thing. So guys, there you have it. That is my top pick for 2022 around £100 driver, 917 D2. I'd love to hear your suggestions, and if you agree or disagree, guys, if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys later.